Okay, Philippines is the next stop, and I'm not sick anymore. Well, maybe a little, not too bad. So, last video was Taiwan. From Taiwan, we flew to the Philippines. I have to apologize to my cousin Jess, who's from the Philippines and loves the Philippines. We had a difficult time from the start to the end, so you'll hear some of that, but love you. I'm sure there are more wonderful places and ways to get around. It wasn't all bad. So we flew into Manila. I had reserved a private car to take us from the airport because we had to go from the airport to a ferry port to get to the hotel. So we had all day to do this. We arrived. We had to fly over a tropical storm. They've been having a lot of hurricanes or typhoons. We flew over a tropical storm. It was a little bumpy. We landed. It was raining really hard. We got picked up by the private driver once we found them. And we had about a 2.5 hour ride ahead of us to the port. So it was raining. The roads were kind of crazy. It's a highway, which has about 3 lanes, but the drivers in Manila decided that that was maybe 5 or 6 lanes. Our driver was like constantly riding on the shoulder, just flying by people. It was a lot of rain and a lot of cars and a lot of anxiety from me. So the driver was just going, it was so stressful. On the ride there, we got a notice that our ferry we were supposed to be taking was canceled because of the storm. So I had to book a hotel for that night. Not a lot of options down near the port. It's not a very big town. I was able to find something. So the driver took us to that hotel instead of the port. We got dropped off. It's so wet, so rainy. The drainage in these places is not great, so it's just wet everywhere. The hotel, first mishap, we get into the room, put our stuff down, go to the bathroom. The toilet doesn't do anything. There's no water running through it. The flush won't flush. We call the desk. They send up maintenance. 1 maintenance gets there. 2 maintenance gets there. 3 maintenance gets there. I'm like messaging the desk, like, can you just move us to a different room? I just wanted to relax. So they get us in a different room, same room down the hall. All good. So then we decide we don't want to go out. So we put in an order for Uber Eats. We order a Domino's pizza. We order it on the Domino's website. So we use the Domino's website at home all the time. It shows you like, the order is received, it's in the kitchen, it's on its way. So when it says it's on its way, we go downstairs, wait for a few minutes, and it says your order's been delivered. But there's no pizza having arrived. So we asked the security guy, I'm like showing him, I'm like, it says it's been delivered. Is there anywhere else it could be? We waited like 20 minutes, no pizza. So we decided to eat the hotel restaurant, which was pretty expensive, but whatever. We sat down, we got a meal. We were almost done eating at the restaurant. So we're like an hour from our initial pizza adventure. And the security guy comes into the restaurant at the hotel and says, your pizza's here. And we're like, no, we're not receiving the pizza. We've already eaten and it's an hour after you said you'd be here. So thankfully the security guy dealt with it. We hadn't paid for the pizza, so we did not have the pizza, and I don't know what happened with it, but that was really frustrating and very stressful for us. The next morning, we did have a ticket for the ferry, made our way to the ferry terminal. We get to the ferry terminal, you have a ticket for the ferry. So we already had that, but you have to have a ticket to come into the terminal, and then you have to have another ticket to use the ferry dock, and then you use your ticket for the ferry, and then you arrive on the other side and you have to buy another ticket to arrive at the dock, and then you have to buy another ticket to use the terminal, and then you're outside. So it was like 6 tickets to get from one side of this place to another, and it was like an hour ferry ride. So this is already a very long video, and that was only the first 24 hours. So that was by far the most stressful 24 hours of the entire trip so far. We have a pickup from the terminal to go to our hotel. We're a day late, but that's okay. We get to the hotel. It's a little bit different than I had hoped from the pictures. The hotel itself is very cute in its little bubble, but it's surrounded by things that are not as pleasant. I also thought it was across the street from the beach, which on the map it kind of is, but there's no beach there, and it's all stuff up against the water, so we couldn't access anything. We have to check out of our hotel, and this is going a lot longer than I thought, so I'll have to finish the rest of it later and stitch these two videos together. Figure out how to do that. Okay, to be continued. Okay, I'm back. Same day, new hotel. We're in Tokyo. It's really funny to be filming these videos so delayed because it feels like forever ago. We made it to Tokyo. Jim's out getting a haircut and I'm in the room. I'm going to finish this video and then we're gonna go to dinner, and I have my apple juice. Everywhere else in the world has just juice for such a better price than we do. Anyways, this carton of apple juice was like 75 cents USD. Okay, back to the Philippines. So we arrived at the hotel. I didn't love the hotel. It was definitely a tropical location. I knew that. I knew it was not going to be like our nicest hotel, but there were some bugs inside, which I just have a hard time with bugs inside. Nothing bad. Like, they weren't bad bugs. They're just like fruit flies and the little bugs that get places when you leave like a drink on the counter. So that wasn't my favorite thing, but the bed was comfy. It was safe. It was really friendly. All the staff are really nice. So we planned to be there for 10 days. This was going to be one of our longest stays because Jim had scheduled 2 scuba classes. He had scheduled the first one, the open water diver scuba class, which is like level 1, and then he had scheduled advanced open water, I guess, which is level 2, and he planned to do them all with the same company. We booked it ahead of time, so we booked this accommodation so that he could do all those classes. It was right nearby. I could just roam around like I thought. I could hang out at the beach. There was no beach. But either way, I had a TV, I had my paint stuff, I was going to be fine. But after the first day of scuba lessons, Jim didn't love it as he had hoped. He was having a hard time with like some of the mask stuff. He really loves seeing the fish and everything, but it's a class, not just like a tour, so you have to pass all of these certain skills, and he wasn't loving it. Went back for the second day, still frustrated by some of the skills you had to do that he just couldn't get his nose to not suck in water every time you take your mask off. So we finished out the third day. The instructor was really sweet, super understanding. She was so patient. She wanted him to get it so bad. But the third day, they mostly did a few fun dives. So he decided not to finish the certification. Now that kind of threw our plans into a, like, well, what do we do? Do we stay here for the full 10 days if you're not going to do the class? Did you like it enough to go and do some more fun dives? We were pretty tired of being there. We also, every time we walked from the hotel to the scuba place, there's just tuk-tuk drivers that want to take you everywhere, so they're constantly asking you if you need a ride. Every shop owner is constantly asking you to buy things. We were just really fatigued by, it felt like just like demands on us all the time when it was supposed to be our relaxing kind of beach and scuba time. So we made some executive decisions. We had that 10-day stay. We were also supposed to be going to a second Philippines location, Cebu, or Cebu. Cebu had just had a pretty big earthquake, which was already making us a little nervous about going. And then they had a big typhoon headed that way. So we reconfigured those whole 2 weeks. We decided we were going to leave a day later from Puerto Galera. So we were going to forfeit the rest of our hotel stay. We couldn't get our money back, but that's what we decided. We were not going to go to Cebu at all, and we were going to fly to Thailand early. So we left Puerto Galera. We went to Manila for 2 days. We did not have that planned, so we booked a little apartment right in kind of the really fancy part of the city, BGC or BCG. I can never remember what order that went in. It's basically just a bunch of malls all together. So we stayed 2 nights in an apartment, walked around the malls. That kind of like helped us get re-energized. I do want to go back to the last day we spent in Puerto Galera. We booked a snorkeling trip for the two of us. We had someone take us out in their little boat and we snorkeled. That was really awesome. The scuba and the snorkeling there is unreal. It's beautiful. It's the clearest water, the most amazing amount of fish and coral and giant clams. And that was the first time I'd ever snorkeled that I didn't really freak out. I usually get really nervous and kind of panicky in the water with the fish. And so I was calm, and we got to kind of float around and look at so many things. That was really amazing. We took a bunch of videos on the GoPro. I was really proud of myself. That was another funny one where we booked the thing to go on the boat, and we arrived, and then to get on the boat, we had to pay a fee to go on the dock, and then every time we landed somewhere, you had to pay to get out of the boat. It was just, no one was ever speaking English either, so they're just like leading you around and saying like 300 here, 200 here, 400, and you're just kind of at the mercy of whatever they're telling you to pay for. At one point, we stopped at this cave, which I was like, I don't really need to go in the cave, but they like ushered you along. And then the cave was free, but in order to go in the cave, you had to have a helmet on, and the helmet was 300 of whatever we were paying, pesos, I don't know. So they're just standing there, and we had hats on, so they took our hats off and then handed us these helmets and then asked for $300, and then were like taking us into the cave. I don't know. It was a really pretty cave. It was cool. Just that was all so out of my comfort zone. So that, along with the change of plans, we were just really exhausted. So in Manila, we kind of spoiled ourselves. We both got haircuts. We ate some really American food. We went to Chili's, which was hilarious. We went to Krispy Kreme. It was kind of like a reset, and that was good. But we ended up canceling basically the next week and a half in the Philippines and heading to Thailand. We were very fortunate we did. Cebu did get hit with a pretty big cyclone or typhoon. Yeah, typhoon. And did a lot of damage, some of it where we would have been. So we were really glad we canceled that part and kind of trusted the planning, and we're okay with losing a little bit of money to change our plans, and we felt good about it. Okay. I think that's the end of the Philippines. I'm trying to remember if there's any other fun anecdotes. Jim loved the food there. There was a lot of really interesting flavors. Interesting flavors are not two things that I typically enjoy, but that's Jim's favorite. So I ate a lot of really plain stuff whenever I could find it. They did a lot of breakfast in the Philippines, so I had a lot of pancakes. That was fun for me. While he was having adobo, I guess is what he ate a lot of. So he loved the food there. The fish were really beautiful. We were bummed that scuba didn't really work out, but it was great to try in like the most beautiful spot to try it. And then we left from Manila and headed to Thailand. I really hope I can get the rest of these videos done before we fly home in 2 weeks, because I feel like once I get home, there's no chance that I will finish them. So we'll see. As I guess a preview, what we've got left is Thailand for about 3 weeks, and then Laos, and then Hong Kong, and then Seoul, South Korea, and Japan. All right. I'm going to finish my apple juice, and then we're going to go out for dinner.